and welcome back to Winding Road Magazine. I'm Tedward, and behind me we have a car that I really haven't seen much coverage on the internet of because this is the Audi R8. It's not a V10 Plus, it's not an RWS, it's the standard car. So let's go take this out for a drive and see if it lives up to the hype. I look at this and I see a gentleman's Huracan. It's not as flashy, it's not as wild, but it still has that delicious V10. Don't worry about that. This new MMI system is so insane. And it's great because you can get these on lower cars now. You don't need to go get an R8 to have this. So this is the standard R8. It has no wing and it has the steel brakes, no carbon ceramics. I think this is kind of the gentleman's Huracan because interior-wise, it's really nice. It's a lovely place to be. It's certainly not as flashy and ridiculous, but at the same time, it's very much a supercar. Still surprised Audi uses these paddles for their cars. They could definitely go a little more premium, but I guess that's maybe the upsell for the Huracan for folks who want a little more, I don't know, I don't even want to say refinement because the Huracan has a lot of plasticky bits and this actually feels more refined. So in many ways, I feel like this is the more refined car. So you can go change your drive modes here. When you're in sport mode or S mode, you end up with a louder exhaust. So it definitely gets a little bit louder, sounds nicer. You hear that beautiful 5.2 liter V10. That's the special thing about this car is the fact that we still get a V10. This is probably the last time we're going to be getting a naturally aspirated V10 in anything. And it's a testament to Audi because they didn't need to keep this engine. They decided they wanted to keep the character of the car. They could have easily put in the twin-turbo V8 from the RS7. And honestly, the car might have even been faster with that. But I think the character of the car, it's suited so perfectly to this V10 that I'm glad that automakers are still making cars for people who like cars. driving it on back roads like this where we're just kind of putting around, this is so comfortable. Nothing has fazed me so far. I feel like I'm just driving a car. You kind of almost don't recognize the suit you're wearing when you're in this. But we also have drive mode select. So this is where we can start changing from comfort. And we'll go into dynamic, because what that's going to do is that's going to stiffen up the mag ride. This is a magnetic suspension. The V10 is a beautiful sounding engine, and I think the only time you're a little disappointed by it is when you hear it next to an Aventador V12. But that's pretty rare, so I think we can enjoy the sound of this pretty much 99.9% of the time and not be beat by anyone else on the road. I like that Audi does these flat bottom wheels too. They're a nice touch. Soaks up bumps really nicely. Let's see how this sounds. A little second gear. That's wonderful. And you can see the light up display. It gives me kind of a green, yellow, red. Oh, looks like we found a friend. When I'm driving a Huracan, I feel like I'm constantly worried about how I'm gonna rip the front splitter off of the car. I've got so much ground clearance on this that I'm just not even concerned about it, and I'm driving it like it's an RS5. The seating position is actually a little higher than I expected, but there's loads of headroom, and because we don't have that crazy low windshield like the Huracan does, I still have visibility in the car. If you've ever driven a GTI or a Golf R or anything like that, these brakes are going to be very familiar to you. They bite initially and immediately. So, funny story, that guy, I used to work for him. Not a very friendly guy. And now I'm driving an R8. That was bizarrely satisfying. That's only about a quarter throttle. That's the beauty of these NA engines, is that their throttle response is immediate. I want it, it's there. Obviously need to take this car out to a racetrack to get a full feel for what it can do, but on the street this is potent, and it pulls to red line, and it's just buttery smooth. This is an enjoyable car to drive, and at the price point, I mean, you're able to look at 911 turbos, and really this car as a non-plus is kind of more aimed at a Carrera GTS in the 130 to 150 type range. I guess the RWS is 134, but this is a little higher. What this car does for the money is a lot more emotional than what Porsche's doing. And if you were to look at the V10 Plus with the carbon ceramics and the carbon stuff, you're looking at 911 turbo territory. And I've driven the turbos. I like them. They're very quick. They're very capable. Not many heads are going to turn. So if that's your thing, the R8 certainly gives you that, because it's very stately, very enjoyable, but at the same time, inside, you're not accosted with goofiness. You're not getting that Lamborghini craziness. This is a really classy place to be. All the buttons are nice, and it's very driver-centric. There's not a whole lot that's going to distract you from what these buttons are meant to do. You get this beautiful dash. You still get this amazing engine. And we've got some crackles and pops. Now that the windows are down a little bit, you might be able to hear it. Just getting on throttle a little bit to induce the pops. Completely unnecessary, but there's definitely the desire to exercise this engine on downshifts. This is a really fun car. The steering, compared to a Huracan, it's not as pointy. The Huracan always has a really darty feel to it. So you go like this and the Huracan's across a lane. This car has a lot more, it feels like a normal car. I mean, that's the beauty of this thing. It's a suit. It's a nice suit for a gentleman. It does all the right things. It has the right look, but it's not a joke. It doesn't exaggerate. This is great. It certainly gets up and gets out of its own way. So let's put it back in comfort mode. Go into drive, and we'll just cruise. Sorry for passing on the right, but desperate times. 72 miles an hour, 2,000 RPM, maybe a tick above. It's a cruiser, man. And the visibility in the R8 is superior to the Huracan. I can actually see what I'm doing here. And I've got a normal blinker stock. You know, the Huracan has it on the wheel, and it's neat, it's kind of cute, it's fun, but oh my God, is it annoying to use when you need it in a pinch. All right, I've only got an R8 for a short time. We're going back to dynamic mode. Thou shalt not take chances in anyone else's car. danger zone. See, good thing we have a 530 horsepower V10 to get us out of a sticky situation. Again, completely unnecessary downshifts. But we have a little bit of a tunnel, windows down. I can't imagine what this looks like coming up behind you. Apparently not enough for a Kia Optima to get out of the way, though. My final thoughts on the Audi R8 standard car. This is a Huracan for a gentleman. This is somebody who wants something that's flashy but not obnoxious. This is somebody who wants to be in luxury with some speed. Should you spend the extra $30,000 or $40,000 to get the Plus? You know, from where I'm sitting, I don't feel a dearth of power. This is a fantastic car, and if you manage to find a good deal on this, I wouldn't hesitate. And you can use this as a daily driver. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button to Winding Road Magazine, and of course, go check out Tedward Drives for more with my cars. I'll see you in the next one.